This project will be an introduction to responsive design, which is basically allowing your website to change depending on the size of the device that it's being viewed on, which is extremely important nowadays where people look at websites on computers and phones and everything in between. So when you get to the page, you'll notice a couple important things that you absolutely need to have to make this work. Number one is in your HTML, up in the top in the head tag, you need to have this tag. Now if you're using brackets and the template plugin that we're using, that should be there for you, but double check it. And then number two is you're going to put at the bottom of your style sheet these type of tags that tell it specific rules to apply and the size to apply them at. So in this case, it's saying apply these if there's a maximum width of 768 pixels. So anything below that, you'll have a shadow on your text and you'll have a gradient on your background. And you can see some examples of that right here where it's saying apply this if it's bigger than this or between these two widths or smaller than these two widths. But that's basically what it's telling, and you'll want to have that at the bottom of your style sheet once again. So in the end, we're going to have something very basic that looks like this. So you'll see right now it's white background. We've got an H1 up here that says site title, and you got 3 divs that are colored blocks. And as I scale this down, when I get to that point, that break point, you'll see the background color changes, the site title changes, the divs change size, and once again, when we get to this side size, background changes again, H1 changes, as well as the divs now are stacked block. So we're going to do that. So we're going to open up brackets and start a new one from scratch. So let's do a new file. Let me get rid of all this other stuff here. And we're going to save this as our index page. Let's just go into a folder. I'm going to go to my desktop, create a new folder. And inside there, we'll create our index file. And here it is. We've got an index file. I'm going to go and hit my plugin here, my HTML skeleton plugin. I want a full skeleton. And you can see that what I was talking about up in the head tag is already there for you. So I'm going to take out this JavaScript piece because we don't need that. I'm going to save it again. And now I'm going to jump right in and create our CSS file. So I'm going to do File New. I'm going to save this as style.css. I'm going to put that in the same folder if I can remember what it is I named it. There we go, responsive basic. Style, good. We'll save it there in the same place, and it's called style.css. So I'll go into my HTML. There's my style sheet link. So I need to put in style.css so that it links up to the style sheet, and we are ready to go. So right here in the index, in the home page, wait for the bell. I'm going to go ahead and start creating the content that we need. So it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to do an H1. And then below that, we're going to do 3 divs. So I'll have a div, and we'll call this one class. This class will be 1. And I'm just going to duplicate this 3 times. I'm going to hit Control D. And then we'll call this div number 2. And this one number. Now, and make sure you don't do actual numbers or they may not work in your style sheet. But just type it in. Give it some sort of names. And that's it for here. So I'm going to actually pull this over here and let's go ahead and launch this. So from there, we're going to go into the style sheet. And here it is. Let's pop that over to the side. And that's all it looks like currently. So in the style sheet, let's start giving it a few different rules. So first of all, I'm going to go into, let's give 1, dot 2, dot 3. So I'm going to talk to all 3 of those classes, those divs that I just made, and I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to give them a width, 100 pixels, height, 100 pixels, and display inline block. So they will stack. Actually, they're going to, so they're inline blocks. So Divs are usually blocks, so they'll stack like blocks vertically, but I made them inline blocks so they will actually sit next to each other on the line. In fact, maybe I'll just show you that in a second. So let's take that out for a moment. Okay, so there that is. Saved it. Doesn't do anything currently because we can't see them. There's no color. They're white. There's no content. So I'm going to say 1. So I'm going to talk to just the first div named number 1, and we're going to give it a background color, and we're going to make it red. All right, and I'm going to copy that same code so I don't have to do it multiple times. Paste it, and I'm going to talk to div number 2 and div number 3. You can see they all showed up. I want to change the colors on these others. Change it to whatever color you'd like. That one's blue. This one's green. So you can see all 3 divs are different colors. They're all 100 by 100, and there's currently stacked block. So if I go up here and say display inline block, and then they stack side by side, which is exactly what we want. So perfect, right? If I flex this page, nothing's going to change currently. So let's look at that, right? If I do this, nothing changes. It's the exact same. So next, we're going to actually give it some responsive rules. So I'm going to put in a comment just so I know where my rules start. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting them in. So here's what it goes: at media only, screen, and this is the part where it varies depending on the size you want. Maximum width. I'm going to say in this case 1024 pixels. Great. And now I'm going to do my curly braces like always, and everything for this size I want to have between these 2 set of curly braces. So there's the first part. If we look at the rubric here, it's going to tell you what you need breakpoints for. So you need something to happen at 1024, 768, and 480. And you're going to want changes to the background, the H1s, and the 3 divs. So let's keep going. So let's start here. We're going to say the body. And I'll say, let's give it a background color once again. And antique white. Great. There you go. So it's going to be that size when we hit a maximum width of this. If it goes bigger, it's going to go back to white. And then let's do a new rule. So we'll go down one more. Let's do for the H1. Maybe we want color to go pink. You can see it's now pink. And we want it to be bigger, so we'll do a font size of 100 pixels. And we will do a font family of, cursive's great. There you go. So we've got a change there. And we'll go down to a new selector here. We'll this time say .1, .2. And remember, you could do these individually, but this way you can just talk to them all at once. And we want all of those to have a width of 200 pixels and a height of 200 pixels. And there we go. We've got our first change. If we stretch this larger, in fact, let me save. If we stretch this larger, at some point you'll see it goes white, and if we go back to the right, at some point when I get to that size, it's going to pop back down. So it looks like that. So there's our first change. Now we'll make another set. So we'll go outside that last curly bracket or curly brace. We'll go down and we're going to do another one. So on this one, we're going to say at media only, screen, and max width, 168 pixels. And then we'll do our set of curly brackets again. And this time we'll have the body turn to a different color. So this time we'll say aqua. There we go. Great. And we'll call that good, right? You currently can't see it because we're not at that size. We're bigger than that. So if I save it and I start to shrink this down, when I hit that spot, which I'm not quite there you go. You'll see it turns blue. I'm now smaller than that width, that maximum width. So let's keep going. We're going to do one for the H1 here. And this time we'll make the H1 Color purple. Great. And what else do we want to do? Font size. 150 pixels. Font family. Impact. You'll see those changes are made. Now let's do one more thing. So I'll talk to all three divs again. .1, .2, and .3. And I would like to make the width on these 100% so it takes up all available room, not just a specific width. So you can see it goes all the way out. Height, I'll just say 200 pixels. And then we're going to go to display. And we're going to set it back so they're block. So they stack on top of each other. And we'll call that good, right? We save it. And you're going to do one more for the lowest breakpoint, the smaller one, which is 480, which I'm not going to show you. But let's just take a look at what this actually does. So if I now stretch it, you can see it's white here, and then there's a change there, and then there's another change where it stacks there. So you need to do that, and then make sure you have a fourth one for your smallest breakpoint, and just kind of customize it how you'd like it. Make sure you then put your CSS and your HTML files in a zipped folder. So let me show you that. So we're going to take and find that responsive basic. If we can find it in all my mess here. You're going to take it, and you're going to right-click on it, and you're going to send it to a zipped folder, and you're going to turn that in. And that is it.